As we prepare to play our last game on Sunday against Brighton at the Falmer Stadium, formerly known as Amnex Stadium, we are here to let you know that there is a huge boost. Varane, Lindelof, Martial back in group training, and it comes in through to be a very good story to obviously do right now, when you all know that it might be asked to go into the UEFA Conference League, because the only position that we are left with is obviously going into the Conference League, and that's it when we finish 7th, and I would love us to play anywhere in the UEFA Europa League, but I tell you this, it's really gonna be hard. Chelsea at 60 points. Even if United wins, we are really having a very bad goal difference. We will be 7th. That is, and that comes in place if at all Newcastle lose to the side of Brentford. You understand? Or draw, and United really takes a lead in there for you. So this comes in through as a preparation for the game of Man City on the 25th of this month at Wembley. That is it. And if you know what it means. Manchester United will be taking on the side of Man City in there for you. And if you really feel like we should be playing in a more patriotic league like the UEFA Europa League, you have to come out and we'll beat Man City. And what helps you beat Man City? It's having all your players available. For example, if Lisandro Martinez is back, Varane is back, Martial is back, Lindelof is back, that means you'll have a very strong back line to see to it that it takes on the side of Man City. And that is really exactly how I want it to be. That gives us a very huge role and very huge hope on how the starting 11 could be when you're playing Man City. Who in goal? Onana. Right back, Bissaka. Left back, Dalot. Central defense, Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane. Casemiro or Amrabat alongside Kobe Mainoo. Bruno Fernandes ahead of them. Amadi Diallo, but I think it will be Garnacho on the right. Then Rashford on the left, with obviously Rasmus Højlund leading the line for the club of Man United. You understand? So I think everyone would love to see that lineup coming in through, but even if you're really having a very huge attacking force and your back line is really very weak, then it doesn't give you any chance against Man City. And that's why I tell you, when I see Rafael Varane and Lindelof back, I'm just excited, because I know to it all that it is really very important to see to it that a lot really goes our way. Good evening, guys. How are you guys, and where you're watching us from? I go by the names of Rock and David, and this is the United Matters channel. Second video of the day, and more is yet to come, and I might even throw in a live video to see to it that we have something to sort out in between me and you here onto this beautiful channel that goes by the names of United Matters channel. We thank God for the gift of life. The Muslims welcome back from the mosque because it was a Juma Kareem, and let's obviously get into this footage of these players that trained today at Carrington ahead of the game of Brighton, as we forward look into the game of further look into the game of Man City and see the impact. Now, this is Martial and Rasmus Højlund. However much Martial might play the remaining 2 games, he's not going to earn himself a contract at Manchester United. You saw him bidding farewell to the fans of Man United, and that is Anton Martial for you. But what's the beauty of having him? He can come in through and really play some last 30 minutes of the game when you're playing against Brighton. Even when you're playing against Man City, depending on the game situation, he might come in through and obviously play some 15 minutes. That might make him a hero of this team, because he can make a very huge turnaround or score a goal that gives us that trophy, and he'll live in better books of Manchester United. You understand? So I think we are more of a threatening force when you are having Rasmus Højlund leading the line and Anton Martial onto the bench. That means we are really having better options. You remember way back, or in the recent past, the manager could take off Rasmus Højlund and get in Whitley, the under 18 player. So I think that shouldn't be the case in which you would love to see your team in. You'd love to see your team doing better and better. And so to me, that's why I tell you, I'm excited to see Anton Martial back for the remaining 2 games of this season. Lindelof is another one that is going to obviously excite me in returning, because if you have to really see your backline having one injury, maybe Raphael Varane drop out during the game of Brighton or the game of Man City, you'll be having a proper defender that can come off the bench and really fool the boots of Raphael Varane. That is it. So you see him alongside Eriksson and Koila plus Fosun Omari. And I tell you this, if you are to sell him, you need him to come out and really put in a shift against Brighton and against Man City, and they can get us our £20 million and really sell him off. That is it. That's the beauty of him returning right now, because he will attract more attention, and he's going to send a signal to teams that really want to sign him, like Fenerbahce in Turkey, that he's readily available. That is Victor Lindelof for you. Then Lisandro Martinez, the butcher of Manchester, is really back in training, having gone ahead to play close to 13-15 minutes in the game we played against Newcastle. He came on and really played. He's really back, and you know what he really brings to the team of Man United. As we look towards the finale of Man United versus Manchester City at Wembley, he's really good to go, because last time he missed out on that final, and this time around he wants to fight and give us all what it takes to really win that beautiful game. Then you have Raphael Varane, you have Lisandro Martinez, you understand, Koila in the mix, obviously coming in through to the needful at Carrington. And I would love to see these two playing together in the final. That is it. You give them a chance to play together, I tell you, Man City will have to struggle to score against Manchester United, because Ten Hag has a plan that can really isolate this side of Man City, you know. Then Kambuala is another one that I've gone ahead to see. I have pundits in my country who really downplay players like Kambuala, and they'll be really proven wrong very soon, like they've gone ahead to do on Amad Diallo. When United was playing against Arsenal, I saw them really slate Amad Diallo, that he was just really dilly-dallying with the ball and he did nothing. And for anyone who knows the game and stats, Ahmad had a very good game. And when he came into the game of Newcastle and started the second game, he really did the needful, and they are really silenced. And this is the same thing that's going to happen on Kambuala. This boy has a very huge future. He's going to come in through and really do the needful, because as Jonas, that has the potential, and you never know what he gives you when he really gets into more game time. Rashford smiling, Anthony looking on, and for Marcus Rashford, he needs to fight for his position back in the team, because Garnacho is doing the needful. And I like to see that competition in the remaining 2 games for Rashford and Garnacho. You know, I don't want to see Garnacho being played on the right. I want to see Garnacho and Rashford tussle it out for that position, because we've always gone ahead to complain on their end product to the game most of the times. And I tell you what, if one doesn't do what the manager needs, he brings on the other, and the other will be knowing that if I don't do ABCD, I'll also be really benched. That is it. For Anthony, I also want him to fight for his position with Amad Diallo, right? Because Diallo has gone ahead to put in a very huge shift into that game, and the manager gave him 80 minutes. When you're playing against Newcastle, it shows you how Amad Diallo is really doing the needful in the shift. These youngsters, Dango, remember he's back at Man United because the season really went ahead to end at the team where he was. Omari Fosun is back, and Toby Koela is really back to do the needful. And here we come to see that new generation. These youngsters are really having a very good chance to feature into the United team next season. I tell you, because Ten Hag can really identify one and really get to know that he's really good to go. Especially Omari Fosun and Danny Go. That is it. Because Danny Go has already gone ahead to see himself get into the team of Man United. And Ten Hag likes Danny Go because of his physicality. He's a very good player, but even his physicality is really ready-made to play into the Premier League. That is it. Then, that is Bennett and Sam Mather others, Metha coming in through from the academy. Then Lisandro Martinez obviously trying to find out a pass for his fellow player. And that is the man who was going to suffer very many injuries during this season. Anton Martial gets his feet on the ball in there for you during that pass and move, session at Old Trafford. Then Victor Lindelof is another one that was really in action, and it shows you how boosted we are into that team that is going to be playing against the side of Brighton and Manchester City. Rafael Varane and Toby Koyela, I tell you what, Rafael Varane is trying to do the needful, get United that trophy and obviously be farewelled well into the side of Manchester United. Then Christian Eriksen and Marcus Rashford obviously doing the needful. Eriksen is one of those players that is going to be shown the exit door at Manchester United. And Marcus Rashford is also trying to put in a shift as expected to say to it that he fights for his position because even at the Euros, his position is really uncertain. It's not assured. And when you look at how Anthony Gordon played against Man United in the previous games, it shows you that Anthony Gordon is going to be taken ahead of Marcus Rashford. Ben McCarthy watching on. He's the coach for the forwards at Manchester United, and he's really doing a very brilliant job in there for you. Rasmus Højlund coming off the bench, scoring against Newcastle to make it 3-1, although later it became 3-2 after Hale went ahead to obviously put in a very good shot at goal that crossed the line. He's really ready to obviously get on, and the manager rested him to say to it that he's really fit for the remaining 2 games and encounters because he knows how important they are. Then Martial, Danny Gore and Omari Foshon obviously trying to do the needful during the passing and move sessions at Carrington. And this is Willy Kambuala for the club of Man United, obviously trying to come in through and really do the needful. For Willy Kambuala, he has been really unlucky for me because he had a chance to obviously play when Maguire was injured, Varane, Lindelof and John Evans. But he found himself not being available, and I tell you, the manager would have gone ahead to partner him with either Harry Maguire or John Evans or Casemiro in those games, but Kambuala found himself unavailable. But we know his potential, and those games that you're going to be playing into the preseason, I tell you, he's going to be one of those players that is going to represent into that central defense. And you never know, that preseason might be the breakout season for the young lad. He might come out and really impress, and we know how Ten Hag trusts young stars if they impress, and Kambuala is onto that ilk. Martial, Toby Koyela, Rafael Varane and Christian Eriksen obviously looking on during the training session today. And Anthony was also really in the mood. You see him there. And Marcus Rashford was also in the mood. And one will ask, where are the players? We've not seen Onana, we've not seen Dalot, we've not seen Bissaka, no Casemiro, no Evans, no Amrabat, no Kobe Mainoo, no Amad Diallo, no Bruno Fernandes, no Alejandro Garnacho, no Scott McTominay. All those players featured on Wednesday, and the manager's going to have to really give them a rest. To rest for Thursday and Friday. Tomorrow, Saturday, they will join the team, train with the team, and obviously find out who are the 20 that the manager will obviously have to pick to see to it that they really feature into the game of Brighton. That's what I had for you right now. Your thoughts onto Varane, Lindelof and Martial back into United training are welcome in the comment section below. Rokan David remains my name. I'm returning with one more video, as we call it, a day. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.